Hi, we're going to work on this problem string that focuses on partners to 10. This is an additive strategy, and students need to understand how to count to 10, um, and they have to understand the partners of 10. So, like 5 and 5 makes 10, 6 and 4 makes 10, and they should also understand place value to 100. And we're going to use an open number line model. The strategy really focuses on additive thinking. So when students are in counting strategies, counting by ones, this is a great strategy to help nudge them out of counting strategies to start building more strong relationships so they can really dig into additive thinking. Okay, let's start our first problem. So what if we start with something very simple like 90 plus 10? 90 plus 10, you're probably thinking, Jesse, that's easy. That's 100. But even though I know it's easy, I'm going to draw it out on a number line here for you. Did anybody think of this as like 9 tens plus one more 10? We have 9 tens, we have one more 10. That's going to give us 10 tens or 100. That's a good place value way of thinking about it. So we have 90 and we're going to add 10 more. And that's going to get us to 100. Okay, that's our first problem. Our next problem is 95 plus 5. 95 plus 5. Well, let's draw this on this number line again here. 95 is just above 90. And this time we're going to add 5. Actually, that's not the best representation of this. Let's move that a little bit. So 95 is actually right here. And we're going to add 5. Could we think of this like kind of similar to the previous problem? Like we know that 10 plus 90 is 100. So if we add 5 to the 90, that gives us 95, and 5 more gets us 100. Does this also equal 100? That's like 95 and 5 more gets us 100. Okay, that one was pretty good. Let's go to the next one. What about something like 50 plus 50? Easy, right? 100. I'm going to draw this out on a number line here. If we have 50 and I add 50 more, that gets us 100. We can think of this like 5 tens and another 5 tens gets us 10 tens, right? Just like this 5 and this 5 got us 10, 50 and 50 gets us 100. Okay, can we use that thinking to figure out what 55 plus something equals 100? 55 plus something. Well, if we add another 5 to our 50, right? We know that 50 plus 50 is 100. If we add another 5, we have to take away 5 from what we're adding. Well, what's 50? 50 minus 5. 50 minus 5 is 45. So if we add 45, do we get 100? Yeah, this one is going to be 45. So again, here we can see this balancing. These two equal the same thing, but here we added 5 and here we subtracted 5, and we're still getting 100. Okay, let's represent this relationship in another way. 40 plus 60. 40 plus 60. Well, if we have 40, we have a big jump here. We add 60. If we have 4 tens and 6 tens, does that also give us 10 tens? Yeah, that gets us 100. Another good 10 relationship. You can see how this really builds on making friendly tens. So what about something like 65 plus 35? Could we use this relationship that we know? This one's a little different because we've kind of crossed over here, but it's kind of like we go from 60 to 65 by adding 5 and 40 to 35 by taking away 5. Did we keep everything balanced here? Yeah. If we start at 65 And we add 35. That gives us 100. We can even look at this the other way, right? We could represent this as 35, and we're going to add 65. That's going to get us 100. Interesting to compare these two with, right? Now notice how every time I gave you kind of a helper problem that helped you solve a bit more of a challenging question. Helper problem, challenging question. This one was a helper problem, but I upped the ante a little bit for this last one. The next one, I'm not giving you a helper problem, okay? The next one, I'm not giving you a helper problem. For this one, I'm just going to ask you what you think 75 plus something that makes 100. Can you think about it with the same kind of relationship that we already did? If we have 75 here and we want to get to 100, did anybody think about this as, maybe rounding down to 70? 7 tens plus 3 ones plus 30 gets us 100? Or did anybody think about rounding up to another friendly number? Maybe rounding up to 80? 80 plus 20 equals 100? Well, if we went with the 70, we know that 70 plus 30 equals 100, but we don't want 70, we want 75. So we need to take 5 away from here. So we're actually going to add 25. Did you think about it as 80? 80 plus 20 gets us 100, but we don't want to add 80. We need to add 5 more. So we're actually going to add 25. Either way, we get the same number, 75 plus 25. So this is a great problem string to do to really build off of friendly tens and move them up into higher place values up to 100. Here are 2 more problem strings that target the exact same concept. So you can do these in a series to help build up kids' understanding. You can see that in each of them, there is kind of a helper problem with friendlier numbers, a bit of an easier problem that helps them get to or think about the next problem and then eventually get to a problem that is quite a bit more challenging. And so some questions that you can ask are, how do partners of 10 help you to figure out this problem? What kind of numbers are friendly in this problem string, and how could we use those friendly numbers to help us? And how does that problem ahead of it, or any problems within this series, help us to solve this trickier problem? So this is a great problem string to be doing in your classroom to build relationships to 100. Have fun.